Now, I believe the cover of Le Parisien shows a picture of a very glum Prime Minister.
Yes, indeed. He's probably feeling it's back to work for him after a lovely month of holiday. Jean-Marc Ayrault there, a Prime Minister under pressure, says the newspaper. Why is he under pressure? Well, they look a little closer at that inside. They ask, is there a problem? Because it seems to them and to some critics of the Prime Minister that he's simply not been doing enough. He's been in that role now for a couple of months. They say it still feels like he's almost learning to be a Prime Minister, to do the job itself. He's been attacked by some for taking a whole month off in August, being away from Paris on holiday, as do many French politicians, including the president himself. However, this criticism hasn't just come from, familiar opposition opponents. It's actually come from within his own camp itself. So what the paper says is that you always know there's a problem when lots of people start praising the Prime Minister. In fact, they say that people have been, there's three leading figures in the party who've been saying, oh, he's doing a great job, don't worry about it, suggesting that perhaps they're trying to sort of cover the fact, cover the fact there's a little bit of criticism from within the party itself. So showing that, no, everything's fine in these ranks, don't worry about us. The Prime Minister, he's back in the Prime Minister's house, Matignon here in Paris, and it's business as usual.
And fully across his brief, so they'll say. Now, as we were saying, Catherine, it is, of course, back to school for many French children today, and it's also back to work for workers at the Peugeot factory.
Yes, indeed. This is a very particular Peugeot factory near Paris. Article in Libération today. The factory is called Aulnay, and it's a return to the production floor. That's their headline there. Now, this is a particularly interesting story because this is a Peugeot factory that Peugeot, they say, they've got to shut. They simply can't afford to keep it open. 3,000 people work there, and of course, as everyone knows, that the French president said employment was one of his key things in his presidential campaign. There would be no job losses under him. However, 3,000 jobs may have to go. There was a slight reprieve during the summer holidays that nothing would be done. Peugeot wouldn't formally announce any job losses. So now it's September. The paper looks at what now. The paper says they're awaiting government report to see what the government make of the situation. Indeed, it's going to be interesting to see. They've said that they don't want any job losses, so it's going to be very interesting to see what comes from that report that's coming out on September the 11th.
It absolutely will, a much-awaited report. Now, US politics are also making the headlines of French newspapers
Absolutely.
today.
This is the front page of Le Figaro. President Barack Obama, the 5 challenges that face him.
Just 5?
Just 5, apparently, but I know, you'd think there'd be a few more. But this is obviously ahead of the Democratic Convention this week. The paper looks at what are these key challenges that face the president as he's in this battle for re-election. Things like how is he going to really galvanise his support base, as well as, re-inspire a nation that, so believed in him 4 years ago. Libération touched on that same theme. An article saying Barack Obama wants to rediscover his magic touch, this incredible rhetoric he has that can really inspire a nation behind him.
That's right, he really rode to power on a wave of yes we can and enthusiasm.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's, how can we make, yes we still can, how can we get that message across?
It's a tough brief to do though,
Indeed.
hey? Finally, from the American president to an American pop legend.
Absolutely. This is a front page of the Figaro's culture section. Some leaked emails from the tour operators of Michael Jackson's last tour. This was an exclusive in the Los Angeles Times. It's been picked up by the Figaro. Emails that detail his emotional state during this tour, saying he was an emotional wreck, that he was often drunk. Some really interesting emails that paint a pretty sad picture, in fact, of the last few months of Michael Jackson's life.
It certainly is a very sad picture. Well, thank you very much, Caterina Vitozzi, for the review of the French newspapers there. Well, let's bring you up to date with this morning.